Ever hear of the Soviet scientist who created a living two-headed dog? For years, the work of Vladimir Demikov has been considered genius by some and grotesque by others. He's known for being an organ transplant pioneer, but in 1954 he made headlines when he grafted the upper body of a small dog and surgically attached it to the neck of a larger host dog. These photos are real, so viewer discretion is advised. He did this by connecting the dog's circulatory systems together. He then attached the smaller dog's trachea to the larger dog's lungs. This way the host's heart would pump enough blood for both heads. When both dogs awoke after surgery, it was noted that the smaller dog yawned on its own, while the larger dog looked at the smaller dog, puzzled, clearly, and tried to shake it off of his neck. Ultimately, the smaller dog continued to keep its own personality, regardless of having no body of its own. And he even would bite the ear of the larger dog that he was attached to in a playful way. When hot, both would pant, and when thirsty, they would both drink. Although Vladimir would never connect the smaller dog's esophagus to the stomach of the larger dog. So any liquids or food consumed would drip down the larger dog's neck. Ultimately, he would put a tube in, but then it would just drip to the floor. His first two-headed dog experiment would die 6 days after surgery. But over the years, he performed this over 20 times. The longest living experiment lived up to 29 days, but most of the others would die within a week. In 1959, Life magazine was actually on site during one of these surgeries and reported a whole story about it. This is where a majority of these images come from, and this also explains why there are photos of different two-headed dogs. It's because he executed this multiple times. Prior to creating two-headed dogs, he had also performed transplants on dogs and even implanted 2 hearts inside of one dog. Clearly, these kind of experiments cause a lot of controversy within the medical community. In my opinion, it's not ethical. It's a shame that animal testing continues even today, since aside from their lives being cut short, I can't even imagine the kind of pain and awful quality of life that these dogs had before they ultimately would pass away.